Hello and welcome inside Desert Financial Arena for another edition of the Devil Source Postgame Show. I'm Jacob Brooks alongside publisher Chris Cartman following ASU's 75-62 win over Georgia State. Chris, ASU came out slow and sluggish in the first half. Georgia State was pouring in the threes. Then ASU went on a 20-1 run in the second half, completely flipped the switch after the break. What did you make of the first half and then also that second half bounce back?
Yeah, I was a little wondering if ASU would give up a bye-game loss at home. Like the crowd was the worst of the year,
Yeah.
and the energy was not good. Bobby Hurley, even after the game, admitted that it was sort of like a trap game vibe. They got a 5 a.m. wake-up call to get to the airport tomorrow. I thought their defensive intensity and closeouts in particular were bad early on in the game. It was almost like they were just waiting for Georgia State to roll over and play dead, and that didn't happen. And I guess Hurley said that some of the assistant coaches got pretty animated in the locker room at halftime. They went to their full court press. I've always said that their full court press is one of the best things about Bobby Hurley's teams. And then that generated some turnovers, and they went on the 21-1 run, as you said, and they put the game away. Mo Odom was great. Georgia State I would say, decided to play a lot of drop coverage on those ball screens at the top, and he took advantage of that. I think they were concerned about his playmaking ability, especially because early in the game he had like 3 assists and like the first three or four baskets that ASU had. Yeah. Ended up with 9 in the game, so he's good. Not a good performance. ASU still needs to get a lot better.
Chris, the big storyline in this game was Noah Mayosin, sophomore guard, coming back to make his return. He had been dealing with an ankle injury and had not played yet this season. And Bobby Hurley, after the Gonzaga game, talked about how him being out of the lineup and VJ Wallace obviously being done for the season has forced Anthony Pig Johnson to play that backup point guard role and Mo Odom to play nearly 40 minutes.
Yeah, too many minutes.
He had way too many minutes. And Mayosin coming back, both Mo Odom and Bobby Hurley talked about in their postgame availabilities how that really just opened it up, allowed Mo to play more relaxed and less minutes, allowed Pig Johnson to slot into that natural 2 position. And Mo had a lot of praise for Mayosin in his post-game presser. What did you make of his insertion into the lineup and what it did for the overall Sun Devil offense?
Yeah, he's got some interesting timing. Like he has like some hesitation stuff, and he's crafty with the ball. He's got good length for a ball handler. He doesn't have that twitch, that quick twitch that you would typically want or tend to see. It's more like the Luka Doncic style.
I was going to say Luka as well.
More like the Luka Doncic style of the bigger point guard. I mean, not saying he's anywhere near as skilled or as good. I mean, we're talking about let's just relax. But
just in terms of play style and play speed.
Yeah, and and you could tell that he had missed some time and he didn't have all of his rhythm there, and he missed some shots, and he seemed frustrated that he missed a couple shots that he probably would ordinarily make. But he had some crafty passes and some herky-jerky ball stuff that I thought, oh, yeah, that's interesting. The thing that I had asked Hurley about was when they get healthier, because Adams has been minutes restrictions, Mukeba's minutes restrictions. As they get healthier, might they be able to do more press, given that they're 9 to 10 deep, and have that be like a feature? And he was a little resistant to that, saying, I don't know that you can do that like all the time. I think that they might end up needing to kind of do that a lot.
It gave them a spark today.
You know what? It just forces them to play with more intensity. Yeah. Like you make them do it, and I think that his teams have tended to have just an irregular, intensity. Yeah. So that, I guess, that would be my main thing. But he was kind of intriguing, enough that you could see him being like one of their top 4 or 5 players potentially.
And a big storyline in the actual game today was Mo Odom as a scorer. You alluded to it, the slow first half that ASU had. Mo Odom had 15 of ASU's first 32 points. Yeah. For a guy who's been known all season long as the guy who dishes it to his teammates, he racks up all the assists. That's not something that a lot of Sun Devil fans were probably expecting to see from him. If Mo is able to consistently channel himself like a scorer like that? Because he talked about in his availability how he felt like he was forcing the three against Gonzaga. He said he watched film with his dad, which I think is pretty cool. And
Yeah.
he said that allowed him to play more open and free. If Mo's able to play open and free like that and be a guy who can put up this many points consistently, what does that do for this offense?
Yeah, see, I think it's pretty unlikely because most teams aren't going to play that much drop coverage.
Yeah.
Also, they didn't really send like a lot of physical help on his ball attacks.
Mm-hmm.
And keep in mind that he doesn't have the type of strength. Like he's a very thin and not. So I think that against better size, he's not going to be able to get to his spots as easily to have the types of shots that were high quality that he got in this game. Between that and between the drop coverage when he got easy 3-point looks, still only made, I think, 2 out of 5. What did he have, 24 points in the game?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a really good performance. He also had 5 steals. He was pickpocketing dudes out there and really like looking for it, almost like too much at times, I would say. But he had 5 steals, 5 rebounds, 24 points. So, I mean, he stuffed the stats like really well. I think he's the most important player on the team by far.
I agree.
Also, keep in mind that Masamba Diop had a double-double, his first double-double tonight, and there were at least a few that were just like easy setups that Odom just dropped for him or lobbed in for him for dunks. And I think that Diop has a good feel for how to like attack the rim off of some of these PNRs and off-ball situations. I think that's like the international mindset that a lot of guys just that Bobby Hurley's had typically have not been as far along in that respect. So again, there's positives, but there's a lot of things that still need to get quite a lot better.
So you talk about the positives and the things that need to get a lot better. ASU, they kept the availability short today because the team has a 5 a.m. call to take that flight over to Maui for a game against Hawaii later this week and then eventually the Maui Invitational Tournament. Chris, before this season, Bobby Hurley said he wanted this team to be a good story. What would be a good story for ASU and Maui? What do you expect from the team on that road trip, and what is the ceiling like?
Yeah, I think you can't. They play at Hawaii first.
Yeah,
winning that game is pretty kind of important to have a good story in Hawaii. Then they play Texas. If they lose to Texas, they would play Chaminade. My feeling is beating Hawaii and beating Chaminade, and then maybe winning one more game there makes that a good story.
Yeah.
Now a phenomenal story would be beating Texas and then somehow making a run. I'm not anticipating that.
Yeah.
But I'm also not ruling it out, especially if Mo Odom and Diop play well. I think they need to shoot the ball better though from 3. Like they had like 4 or 5 threes that they made as a team tonight.
Yeah. And
that's against a team that you're going to get good quality looks. A lot of their forwards are more of the stretch 4 varietal. Some of these European or international players like Truitt, right? And
Gerbevich.
Yeah, those guys need to start making some of these open threes.
Yeah. Because
for them, they're not like high-end defensive players. They're okay, but they're not high-end defensive players, and they're not going to be like guys that score on the block or play above the rim. So you need some of these guys to start making shots, and that will open up the floor even more for what Odom will want to do, and it will make it harder on defensive coverages decisions. If they can get those things going, then that makes it easier for Diop, and just everything will kind of, I think, flow a little bit better.
So, like we were saying, ASU men's basketball taking that flight to Maui tomorrow morning, 5 a.m. call. We appreciate everybody who tuned in to this edition of the Devil Source Postgame Show following ASU's 75-62 win over Georgia State, and we'll see you all in the next one.